reactions have trailed the United States government's decision to revoke the non-immigrant visa of Nobel laureate Professor Wole Soyinka. The decision was contained in a letter dated October 23rd and signed by the U.S. Consulate General in Lagos. Soyinka spoke during a media party on Tuesday, where he read excerpts of the official correspondence. Let's take a listen.
When I received a letter asking me to bring back my passport because certain facts may have come up since the visa was issued. And I was given a date to report at the consulate with my passport. I declined the invitation. First of all, I didn't like the date. Everybody knows what happened on that date, November 11, many years ago. So it was rather unfortunate that they picked that date. And I said, sorry, I'm superstitious. I'm not coming on that date. And then ultimately, I made it clear I was also not going to apply for another date to bring in my passport. So he sighed and said he was very sorry, but that meant that my visa would be revoked. I said, by all means, I'd be willing to receive the letter of revocation. And I assured him that both he and his staff are given permanent visa waiver anytime they want to visit the Autonomous Republic of Ijegba, situated in Abeokuta. There will be no reciprocal conduct from my principality. So I began to cast what have I done in recent times? And I remembered that I referred to him as the white version of Idi Amin. Now, dictators are very difficult to please. I would have thought that he was pleased. I mean, Idi Amin was a man of international stature, a statesman, a first-class Democrat, He was also, he called himself the King of Scotland. He called himself a liberator. He said, in fact, he was going to liberate Scotland from the grip of the British. In other words, we should look at Idi Amin as along the line of historic liberators. He was liberating everybody everywhere. Some of them, he even liberated their lives from them, and sent them to places of no return. So when I called Donald Trump Idi Amin, I thought I was paying him a compliment. But maybe I've also written plays about Idi Amin. Maybe it's about time also write a play about Donald Trump. When he hears that I'm paying him the same literary compliment as I paid Idi Amin, maybe we'll reconsider and return my visa. Otherwise, I want to assure the consulate and the Americans here that I am very content with the revocation of my visa.
All right, there he says he is very content with the revocation of his visa. I mean, a lot of Nigerians were reacting, and I just was reading many of the comments, which I will not highlight here because, I don't think that they had the full context of the story. Professor Wole Soyinka has said that he was the one who refused to go for his visa appointment, and he is fine with not having an American visa. When he tore his green card back in 2016, when Donald Trump became president, he did it with his full chest. It's not like he's wanting to go. And the reason why he applied for a visa, like he said, for our viewers, was because he had, a tax issue. And he didn't want to be a tax evader. So that's why he applied for a visa, to go sort out the tax issues in America. Yeah. So he's perfectly fine. And he's even invited the people that revoked his visa to come to Abeokuta. He will give them Free entry.
Yeah.
Ayo,
I thought his
ahead.
response was very gracious and very, of course, he's a man full of wisdom, so he knew how to diplomatically respond to this update. However, whilst we, on the lighter side of things, say that he's over 90, he loves Nigeria, he's proud of Nigeria, he loves Abeokuta, he's invited them to come, he wants to rest. In fact, some of these travels could be burdensome on him at this time. And he's often talked about how he's not crazy about traveling to the US. It doesn't hold that much of an appeal for him, but he goes there to honor invitations and, like you mentioned, some of the issues around his taxes. However, I just want to say this. Professor Wole Soyinka is an icon. He's not just an icon in Nigeria. He's become a citizen of the world. And I think it's quite unfortunate that the US has decided to take this decision. And I hope that the Nigerian government can intervene in this particular matter, because for his contribution, not just to Nigerian literature, even to the world, his books and his works are read and referred to internationally in Nigeria, in America, in the United Kingdom, all over the world. So this kind of uptake or this kind of positioning doesn't look good at all. And if, according to what he said, is as a result of what he said about the current president, I think that's most unfortunate, because we cannot have leaders who are intolerant to dissent or to expressions of how people feel, which America historically has been quite receptive to. And so I'm hoping that there can be a rethink, a reversal, because he's not just a pride to Nigeria and Africa, he's a pride to on international global scene. And I love that he has said no hard feelings. He's happy with this. He doesn't want to jackpot. He doesn't need visa to move. He's happy to be in Nigeria, and other countries around the world will be more than happy to welcome him to their shores.
All right, Dr. Martin.
Just a quick footnote. It was Professor Wole Soyinka who wrote that the man dies in all who keeps silent in the face of tyranny. And he has always lived up to that creed, always speaking up against tyranny in any part of the world. And I'm excited by the fact that he says, in fact, we may benefit in the literary field from this experience. He says, Idi Amin in whiteface, and that he may write a play on Donald Trump. That would be another major contribution to his oeuvre. After all, he wrote a play of giants in 1984. In a play of giants, he was talking about General Kamini, which is Idi Amin. He talked about Emperor Casco. Emperor Casco is Bokassa, Nguema Bokassa. He talked about, who else is there? General Turabum, Boom, which is...
even Kongi's harvest, he talked about generals.
Yes, General Terabum, about giants, about these people who abuse power, and also Gunema, which was referring to Nguema. So it would be nice to see a satire on Donald Trump coming from the stable of Professor Wole Soyinka, Nobel laureate, global citizen, international icon.
I'm sure. I'm sure that it will be fixed. I mean, there was just an issue with the
one woman came on this program. He said, no man can